But then here it is, verse 42 says, they devoted themselves to the apostles' teaching and to fellowship. See, far too often, most of us in here are people of color. Far too often when you talk about fellowship, we're talking about fried chicken, turnip greens, macaroni and cheese, sweet potatoes, peach cobbler, caramel cake, hot water cornbread. Y'all done got hungry in church, ain't you? We think about food. Now, there's nothing wrong with food as a concept of fellowship, but it's very shallow to dwell with food as the only kind of fellowship. Because the truth of the matter is, in the Greek word for fellowship is koinonia. Somebody say koinonia. And a spirit-filled church must embody koinonia. And here's what koinonia really is. It's a tight-knit kinship that recognizes that our welfares are connected to each other. Let me tell you something. You have to understand my welfare is connected to Deaconess Scott's welfare. Deaconess Scott's welfare is connected to Deacon Mason's welfare. And we're all interconnected to one another. God save us from folks who think it's only about them. Because see, the truth be told, I call it the SIP, the sip of fellowship. When you really have true fellowship, you don't mind sharing. Let me tell you, it looks like this in the text in verse 44. It says, all the believers were together and had everything in common. They sold property and possessions to give to anyone who had need. It means that they were willing to give up their own stuff for the sake of somebody else. That's fellow. I believe there's some people in here who know what that's like, to have people put their own needs on the back burner so that you could get something that you needed, and vice versa. I believe there's some people in here who know what that's like, to put your own concerns on the back burner to help somebody else. They shared, but then also they identified with the experience of others. And see, saints, when you identify with somebody else's experience, you'll keep your mouth closed about judging somebody else. Somebody's child get in trouble. The worst thing you can do is put your mouth on somebody's child. Truth be told, you better thank God for your children and see what you can do to help them. Because the truth of the matter is, believers ought to be willing to participate when necessary to aid and assist other believers. And it's not always about giving money. Sometimes it's just about showing up. Sometimes you aid simply by letting somebody call and get it off of them and talk to you without judging them. Anybody got somebody you can call and you can just, sometimes you just need to talk. Sometimes you need to vent. Sometimes you might be talking crazy. Anybody ever just talk crazy and they don't say you're talking crazy? They just let you talk, let you get it out, and then when you're through they say, are you finished? But they don't judge you. And let me tell you, thank God for folks who don't judge you when you just need somebody you can talk to. Thank God for folks who don't get on the internet and post obscure Facebook messages about what you just told them. Thank God for folks who don't tweet your business out, who don't Instagram or Snapchat, because you just got, sometimes you need somebody who can just share in what you're going through. Let me tell you something, thank God. Thank God for those folks, even in our history. We talked about it at 7:30. Those non-African Americans who had fellowship with us as a people, even in the civil rights movement. Because let me tell you something, everybody that was marching, protesting, standing on the front lines were not people of color. Some of them were some good other people from other racial groups who put their own reputations on the line so that they could, some of them even lost their lives. Thank God for those who are in koinonia with us, but those who may need a more relevant or present kind of illustration, I think about even in Jennifer Hudson's hardest season, when her mother, her brother, and her nephew were murdered. She talked about how Fantasia, see, you know what gets on my nerves with black folk? we'll try to pit each other against each other. Jennifer Hudson said, Fantasia canceled her schedule. She came and spent time. Not only did she sing at the funeral, but she stayed with him for 2 weeks just to see what she could do. Because let me tell you something, Koinonia will cause you to adjust your schedule. Koinonia will cause you to show up. Koinonia will cause you to pay money that you really don't have to get to your friend or your family member. Anybody know what I'm talking about in this church? Sometimes you will do what you got to do out of pure, utter fellowship.